in Sydney as Nick Richardson has the match ball. So underway, and we'll hope for more of the great quality netball we've seen so far in the series. And it'll be under the control of Stacey Campton and Louise McMeeking as McMahon dishes off to Catherine Cox. And Cox and McMahon played the last quarter of the first game, Annie, and between them conjured up 25 goals, so they were pretty fruitful when they got the chance.
Oh, it was a great change of events for Australia. Cox really had some impact in that final quarter, put in a great shooting effort at 13 from 18 and teamed nicely. So a good way for Australia to start. I think it's the final combination we're yet to see of the shooters.
And Liz Boniello finally has her married name on a playing uniform, much to her relief, I think. That's goal defence for the President's 12. So good start, though, coming from Australia and Catherine Cox, goaling her first two attempts. And a well-placed ball from McMahon to find her once more. Meany with the centre pass for the President's 12. Haven't seen a lot of it yet down this end, and that's off Peter Squire's hands. She just gets hands to ball so often, even if it's not a clean intercept.
This is a very foreign forward line for the President's 12. Those four would not have been strung together previously. Morgan and Neal would not have teamed up, and now they're combining with Meany and Anderson. So a big ask for them to suddenly find something against the calibre of Australia. Cox comes out wide for the lead, but fumbles the ball, and the call is the throw-in call. Thought she almost kept that alive. I didn't see her off the court then.
I think you make a good point about this front four for the President's 12. They're from four different clubs: Sandpipers, Kestrel, Swifts and Phoenix, from Morgan, Neal, Anderson and Meany. So it might take a little while to gel.
They were a little slow to the centre court combination in game one.
Good front position taken up by Janine Illich, and a strong take in front of Morgan to get the turnover. And it's Cox now, again battling to keep it in. She's been under pressure from a couple of tough passes. Meany looking for Boniello, but Richardson had no trouble pulling that one in.
Australia's been sagging back, filling the mid-court. They had five in there, then it's really making the President's 12 struggle in down-court play.
First shot for Sherelle McMahon. It's off, hits the back of the ring and out. And Chatfield with the throw in for the President's 12. 3-1 in the early minutes.
Oh, no.
Not fully within.
No, premature call from Louise McMeeking, who assumed that Anderson would be over a third. Anderson actually caught it in the air and landed it, and McMeeking adjusted the call to not wholly within, but she did ground 1 foot cleanly in.
Harvey Williams. And Cox eventually has it again. And she's shooting sweetly. Meany and Gilsonen. So players from four teams comprising the President's 12 starting 7. Morgan looking for Sinner Neal and finds her, and Sinner Neal's been shooting very well in the series.
I was going to make that point earlier. When you look at all shooters across both teams, Southby's been the standout at 92% in game one with 22 from 24, but Sinner Neal has been 89 and 84 in both matches, and she really is making a case for herself.
Harvey Williams. Richardson finds Cox. Oh, there's a bit of contact going on in the circle, and it goes against McMahon, who's just lost sight of each other, I think, Boniello and McMahon and the Phoenix teammates.
Throw in halfway.
So Illich with the throw in. Harvey Williams, and I don't. We look at some very strange, well, unfamiliar combinations even in the Australian line, Annie, because Harvey Williams and Illich play together very infrequently and haven't in the series so far.
No, and that'll have kept Liz Ellis out of the second match and then the start of this, so she's been warming the bench a little, and that is only showing off the depth in the Australian lineup. And it's a smart thing to do. You can't assume you'll have your preferences available. Injury can strike any player, and Jill McIntosh obviously testing out who will step in and fill the hole if necessary.
And Sinner Neal gets her first of the match. Anderson, quick hands to it. Nice to get one from Peter Squire. That doesn't happen too often.
Megan Anderson has been used at wing attack and obviously was considered there for the Australian team and is being kept there in this series. She would be next in line. In fact, 3 players will be travelling over to assist the Australian team in preparations, and Anderson is one of them. Unfortunately, she's teaming up again with Minnie. That's another new combination that we're facing, so hard work for them out there.
And 6-3 with 5.5 minutes gone. And Jo Morgan, who's played 1 test for Australia and several games for Presidents 12 in previous series. And for Australia against the Presidents 12. But matches against the Presidents 12 don't count as internationals in their caps.
Just as insults in a loss. It has been a series across time that really has had some exciting outcomes. Not all ones Australia would want to remember, but it's a very interesting and exciting series.
Sanders onto Cox. 7-3 Australia. Australia has won 6 of the 8 quarters played so far in the series. 1 of them has been drawn. And the only quarter they dropped was a bad one, 16-10, the 3rd quarter of the first test.
Wonderful attacking rebound then from McMahon, who timed the jump well. Obviously outdone in height by Chatfield, but she really attacked the ball.
Sinner Neal looking for Morgan.
Well, she was lucky to come away with that. She was almost at a standstill, and Harvey Williams nearly took the intercept, just a little slow to get in position.
Fine goal from Sinner Neal in the end, and Presidents 12 have only missed 1 shot. They just need more of the ball. Here's a bit more of it coming now through Chatfield onto Neal. Boniello finding Gilsonen. Anderson available straight to the circle, but they weren't ready for it. Neal and Morgan.
No, they just let a couple of balls go that are ambitious, but would come off in a team that knows each other better. And you could well expect Sinner Neal to keep the drive going to the post, but she's backing out of a few of them.
McMahon back up from Richardson, finding Cox. They just look a little more assured, the Australian 7, and you would expect that. They won the first quarter in game 1 by 15-7 and game 2 17-14.
Australia sitting back on that high ball to Sinner Neal, and that one found both Australian defenders flat-footed in a circle. Not their usual attacking style of game.
Meany, Anderson under pressure from Squire. Meany in turn from Sanders.
Goal attack.
Oh, who's got it? Neal through the hands of Harvey Williams. A little unlucky.
Yeah, Harvey Williams very unlucky then. She had good position.
Contact against Janine Illich and Morgan.
Well, the Presidents 12 making a run at it just before the end of the quarter, keeping this match alive.
Scored the last 3. That's found Cox, though, with a beautiful ball.
Fantastic ball. The vision there, fantastic from Rebecca Sanders, who backs herself and waits it well. And just behind that shot, Liz Ellis and the Australian bench warming up, so we may see changes at the quarter break. Prior to this game, we've been seeing half-time changes to give them time to settle into the lineup, but the whole bench is out the back.
Neal, and that may or may not, Annie, mean changes. It's just
no, that's true. They do send them out in preparatory mode.
At Waverley, they were sending them out every 5 minutes. It was that cold. Cox lays it off for Sanders. Now McMahon, a couple of grabs at it, and a good shot. And she's 5 from 9.
Yeah, McMahon a little slow to warm to her task in goals. She's just put a little bit too much on some of them. Cox 9 from 10.
Instruction against Illich after a very smart little back pass from Jo Morgan. A no-look bounce pass. Who's got it? And Presidents 12 throw-in.
Morgan was in 2 minds then. You could see she was considering the offload option, and it just placed a little hesitancy on the shot.
Shooting practice for Morgan.
Jo Morgan a little fancy with the offload, just drops it behind her, well aware that Meany was there to pick up the crumbs.
It's the kind of pass in her more casual moods we saw from Vicky Wilson in her playing days. So last half minute or so of first quarter. And the team settling into the match. Netball's become a little more fluent. Timing starting to come for both teams. But it is Australia by 5, and the President's 12 would like to get the last of this quarter. Gee, there's 2 back on Morgan there. Not much chance for her there. Harvey Williams a little surprised that call has gone way of the President's 12. 9 seconds or so. Players won't be aware of that. And see if Stacey Campton is when they buzz her in a moment. And she is. There we go. System seems to be working nicely. As our second quarter gets underway with Australia in possession. No changes to either side that I can see any.
No, both teams are electing to continue with their starting lineups, and that was smart play by Australia. A little push to drive the McMahon to the goal third, and then Sanders into the pocket with tidy work.
Now Harvey Williams got to hustle back to the circle as soon as she can, having been put out of play. She's there now, marking up on Neal, but Morgan works her way to the front of Illich.
Nice work, Jo Morgan. They always expect the high ball. She just found a little room under the post.
Cox.
Their close attention being paid to Sherelle McMahon by Boniello and Chatfield. Some smart teaming up by them.
But McMahon caught Boniello out of the circle that time and was able to create a handy position for herself at the post.
I think the crowd enjoyed Chatfield stuffing the shot, but it was contact.
Gilsonen. Oh, Harvey Williams did well.
Yeah, I think that ball probably was better not let go. Sinna Neal had actually made her lead early and was on a clearing move. Should have looked beyond her to someone else.
Illich with a throw-in for Australia. And she had a very good first quarter. Interesting situation for players like Janine, who would obviously like to be in the established sort of starting 7. Got to make the most of these opportunities if you're to threaten players like Ellis and Harvey Williams, but it's almost hard to even say that, isn't it? They're so established, those two.
Yes, you do. When you think of the Australian defence, think of that pair. But we talked earlier of the injuries that are possible to any player at any time. It's also true that you must really explore the depth of your team at events like Commonwealth Games and Worlds, because it's heavy work on the legs and you need to have all players involved.
President's 12 ball. Morgan was looking for Neal, and the defence was looking for the pass. So Neal, as Morgan rolls off, Illich backed into her, not realising she'd stopped. No whistle for that collision. So 2.5 minutes gone in the second quarter. Down they go. It's off the post and out of play.
And it wasn't according to the script. It's a comedy of errors as they look to the high ball, but first down goes Illich, and then Morgan misjudges the amount of space she had between her and the post.
Now McMahon had a bit of a heavy fall herself a moment or two ago at this end, off the ball.
Offside centre, free pass. Where you are, yep.
McMahon.
Cox setting up the screen and rolls off it for herself to the baseline. Cox having a fine game from Australia, 12 from 13, continues at 92%.
Furrowed brow, didn't look too pleased about it, but it was a well-worked manoeuvre.
Well, I think Boniello and Chatfield are having a fine game in defence. They're really making hard going of it for the Australian shooting pair. There's no easy access to the ball, and it's exactly the sort of opposition Australia needs.
But they have improved their lead to 8, Australia. High ball for Morgan is a good one. Anchors that right foot, not close enough.
Had the arm up. It did appear to be a bit of a fend on Illich. You saw Illich react to it. I don't know that it was intentional, but her arm was up.
And Australia scored the last 3 to kick it out by 12 now. A very dominant performance in this second quarter.
Sinanil is just out a little early on her leads and is shadowing the wing attack. It's not giving a second option to the President's 12 as they make their way to the circle.
Morgan gets her 10th goal from 13 attempts. And 6.5 to go in the second as Richardson takes up in the centre circle. Cox now. And McMahon.
Under pressure, great jump from Boniello, forces the ball short.
Gee, I thought McMahon might have been lucky to get away with the 3 seconds. It was good defence from Boniello.
Boniello's putting in a great effort on her teammate.
Neil, but they were marshalling up nicely on Morgan, were Illich and Harvey Williams.
Oh, Boniello read it so well.
Got enough of it. Spill to Anderson. And here they come.
Was nice work then from Megan Anderson as well, who really had the vision and backed up nicely. Otherwise, it was going to be through the hands and out.
Obstruction against Harvey Williams. Goal to Sinanil. And she's 7 from 9.
I think game number 3 serving up the most spectacular passages of netball we've seen to date in the series. Whether they're spills or thrills, there's a lot of them.
Nice stretch from Chatfield to get the touch. Richardson. An easy 1-2-3 with McMahon.
McMahon lifts her stats to 68 with 13 from 19. It's interesting, despite the superb shooting from Cox, it's the President's 12 who, as a team, had the slightly better shooting averages. President's 12 on 77% and Australia 76%.
Oh, look, Morgan had 2 or 3 opportunities there, and they went once too often. And that's
President's wing area. President's.
some questioning of the call. I think Louise McMeekin got it right in the end.
I'm not sure. I saw Gilsonen make a play at it, but not in a good position to judge it.
Been turned over anyway. Look at that bounce pass along the baseline. Aren't they playing with some confidence?
They certainly are, but also, I have to say again, Boniello and Chatfield lifting another level from the last time they played, which I think was game 1. They teamed up at the start of that match.
Barnage offside centre.
Boniello and Chatfield did start the first game, and they replaced at halftime by Gerard and Fellows. So we'll see if that's the case again today.
Yep.
McMahon.
Chatfield brings up her 6th penalty. Boniello on 9. They're the most costly on court.
Richardson drives it straight to Catherine Cox. It's short that time, and even McMahon can't get the rebound from behind Liz Boniello. Boniello, to get it right.
Sinanil playing high in the forward line for the President's 12. Leaving the circle open for Morgan. Morgan nearly fell off her position, but it's well placed.
Catherine Cox's stats have just slipped down to 76%. Neil, Anderson, and Morgan had the front position on Illich this time. Morgan sitting on 80%. Cox. And Neil on 78. Meany. Morgan, nice roll from her. And well appreciated too by the crowd here in Sydney.
President's 12 have scored the last 3 on the trot. They almost made hard work of that, playing it in the right pocket so much. It was really asking for an intercept.
Sanders. And this end of the court a little empty. The set of third was packed. Now they mark up. Great take from Catherine Cox. Oh, I'm sure there was a foot in the circle there from Sanders. And contact against Chatfield. McMahon the shot.
And that's how you throw a shoulder out, when you're going up against a goal attack that's got 2 firm hands on it, and you go for single-handed possession and come to a jarring halt.
Oh, and they got a little ambitious too. Australia, 1 pass too many. I would like to have seen Catherine Cox take the shot, but she's only 6 from 11 in this quarter, because she was 10 from 11 at the first break. Well,
yeah, once again, the President's 12 edging out Australia in accuracy. President's 12, 80%, Australia 73. That's been the pattern in each match to date.
Cox 7 from 12 now in the second. And 17 from 23 overall. That's off Joe Morgan. Getting down to the last minute before half-time, and Harvey Williams with what was a great ball for her. But the delivery to Cox, Cox made every effort.
It's almost there. I was kind of trying to wish that one in.
As you heard the effort being made by Cox through the microphone we've got on the goalpost. Morgan, oh, this is a huge attempt. And it's short.
Yeah, they're really having trouble penetrating Illich and Harvey Williams, who are teaming up nicely. And it's forcing the President's 12 to deliver from off the circle edge. They really need to get the drive onto the circle.
I think that's one aspect of this first half that would please Jill McIntosh, the way Illich and Harvey Williams have combined. Anna.
Yes, and you've seen it grow across the quarters. Far stronger now than at the start of the game. As Cox returns to the form she had moments ago, confident on the long bombs.
McMahon thought about looking for Catherine Cox, who's down now after the contact from Chatfield, and Cox can take the shot if she chooses.
Yep.
And Jill McIntosh looking at stopwatch, I think, her manager, as time is flown. Underway third quarter. Australia will be looking for a concentrated effort here in the third, as they switched off in game one when they had a good lead. And the President's 12 came at them. Let's see what happens here in Sydney. And some changes to both teams. Australia first of all, and on comes Alison Broadbent at wing defence, replacing Peter Squire. Cox and McMahon up front have swapped positions. And for the President's 12, plenty of changes. On comes Nat Avellino at goal attack. Susan Meany moves from centre to wing attack. The new centre is Natalie Von Berto, and the new goal defence replacing Liz Boniello is Monia Gerard.
President's 12 struggling then to get the ball off the goal line, floating with 3 seconds and having difficulty now penetrating the goal third as they work out their new combinations. But Von Berto and Meany quite constructive in game number 2. I thought Meany found something nice at wing attack, and Von Berto's been very steady.
Nice move there from Joe Morgan. First one way, then back to the baseline and freed up the opportunity for the pass. Avellino.
Have to be excited about what Avellino can offer, given she has such mastery with the feed, and that was almost an impossible ball, but she found it.
Well, and she is, of course, a sandpiper teammate of Joe Morgan, and they create plenty of problems for opposition defences in the Commonwealth Bank Trophy, which resumes for us next week, and the players, of course. Cox. Gilson, and very solid performer at wing defence.
Just her third penalty of the match. That's a very low stat.
Contact, goal attack.
Oh, it goes against Catherine Cox. Good pressure from the President's 12. A lot of talk in the defence line.
Well, Monia Gerard's going to offer them plenty. Avellino sporting some of the bandages for the injuries we've talked about.
If we go back to game 1 and the remarkable third quarter performance the President's 12 put out, I think you can put a lot of that down to Jackie Roberts coming on as an impact player in goals, and also to Gerard in defence.
Oh, there is Morgan over a lot of defence.
Well,
smiles all around.
I can't say that was mastery, but it certainly was an easy access.
Mick Richardson could only smile at Nat Avellino after that pass found its target so easily. There's some misunderstanding maybe in the Australian defensive effort.
Yeah, lack of talk. They'd come up really hard to work across the ball.
Strong rebound from Sherelle McMahon.
I think McMahon more settled back at shooter. I was watching her in that second quarter, and yes, the speed is incredible, but she was almost frenetic in the moves, and just needed to settle and make some of the moves more constructive.
Gerard onto Gilson. Oh, Broadbent a bit late. And she's out of play. Let's see if President's 12 can make use of this numerical advantage.
Alison
Avellino.
Broadbent coming on in game number 1 in the third quarter to try her hand at wing defence, and that's obviously something Jill McIntosh wants to explore more so that Peter Squire is covered.
Illich to the floor, the ball to Morgan at the post, and it's a little too easy when it happens this way.
And the scramble, Illich loses the footing. It's Von Berta who comes up with the goods.
Australia capable of some very quick ball movement.
Contact centre.
Contact is against Von Berto on the edge of the circle, off the ball. Australia's possession. Been a very entertaining first 6 minutes of the second half. Cox had McMahon there if she needed her, but still confident. And she gets her 22nd.
Advantage, break, goal attack.
Cox back to Harvey Williams. Sanders there.
Obstruction, goal attack.
Richardson did well. Did very well. McMahon on to Sanders.
The support play so strong from Australia to back up Richardson then.
Obstruction. Yes, next to her.
Gerard. It's almost worth playing on there. Meany. Avellino calls for it. Might shoot. It'll only be her second shot.
Slams it in.
100%. Matt Avellino, 2 from 2. Umberto back to Gilson and Meany.
Wing defence,
Richardson.
contact.
Sorry, it's Broadbent.
Wing defence, contact.
He's just getting the message now. Well done, Harvey Williams. 2 taps at it and back up from Illich. Cox.
Morgan has been on the end, I have to say, of a couple of doubtful feeds that really haven't been set up as well as they could.
McMahon didn't think she was out there as she hauled the ball back in. Let's see. The other end, it was
Yeah, it was
nice.
out of the hands of Meany, but it just didn't have enough to the space behind. Mind you, there wasn't much room behind Morgan then, so it was a difficult feed.
Next to the post.
Richardson still smiling, but it's President's 12 ball.
Offside, wing defence.
Morgan trying to hold a position under pressure from
Contact,
Illich.
goalkeeper. With her. Yep.
They set the penalty. Morgan will get set for the shot.
Shot number 22, just 4 misses, and that's Jane Searle, former Australian player who's in charge of coaching responsibilities for the President's 12.
Working with some level of cooperation, I guess, with Jill McIntosh to get the best out of the series, would you imagine?
Yes, Jill has made it clear that she would like certain styles of play to export. I don't think she's dictating the combinations, but she would like certain styles. For example, the mid-court press.
Great hands from Avellino helped to set that up. Morgan with a huge shot. Harvey Williams the rebound. And that's allowed to go.
And 4 Australian players stand still in their tracks. Can't believe the call, don't move off the mark, as the President's 12 shoot.
Yes, Illich turned. Palms outstretched saying, wasn't that mine? No, apparently not. 10 the difference. Make that 11. So the President's 12 still got their noses in front in this quarter, not in the match overall.
Untouched. Free pass, goal third.
President's 12 coughing up some ball. That going from the centre untouched.
Goal attack, contact. In line with me.
Avellino winces. Sanders waltzes away. Harvey Williams. Broadbent. So this is twice that Jill McIntosh has asked Alison Broadbent to pull on the wing defence patch. What do you read into that, Annie?
I think, as we've mentioned earlier, people assume certain players have rights on starting position, but they need a cover for every single player. They've started exploring the back line, the goalkeeper position. We've seen Broadbent, we know, cover goal defence. They need to cover Peter Squire, and it's probably natural rights going to go to Alison Broadbent. Nick Richardson is another option who I think could cover it.
So Jill McIntosh beside her, well, to her right, Lisa Behagen, on left, Bronwyn Roberts. Between them, they seem to get most of the bases covered.
Throwing halfway. Halfway.
Illich the throw-in. Harvey Williams.
I have to point out, it's not an easy thing to do when you change sides of the court, because you're so used to having everything weighted on lead legs and working those corners. And, of course, it's very specific in working the edge of the circle.
Great rotation from McMahon. Now out it comes. Whose ball will that be? Australia's. Monia Gerard and McMahon both threw a hand at it. Stacey Campton right there to read it.
President's 12 forcing it wide then. The task ahead of them, though, to maintain control down court and to be steady as they move it into the goal third.
Avellino was open, just not spotted, I think, by Bonberto, but
ball.
Avellino spots Morgan.
Such a fast delivery from Avellino, and Morgan did well to have hands up.
Avellino will get the shot in the end, and it won't go. Morgan with the rebound. Surely they'll get it on the third time. They will.
Well, delight in the magic of Avellino. Barely sat in the fingers. She was well aware of the position of her fellow shooter. It was a fine feed.
Well, she's got two fantastic attributes. Well, she's got many, but got great vision and great hands. And you put those two together.
Certainly is a playmaker. Chatfield's brought up her 13th penalty of the match. She is the most costly on court.
Well, trying to keep McMahon and Cox quiet. It's attracted a bit of whistle. Meany, just was trying to pull that one back. Very fortunate to get the ball back.
Avellino was putting on a few dodges. It was hard for Meany to pick up which one was the ultimate one. Avellino working right across on the wing attack side, so they're trying to split the defenders so they're in foreign territory.
And Jo Morgan, now the highest scorer on court. That's her 25th from 31.
Most goals, most accurate.
And Jo Morgan's got 12 goals in this quarter. She had 13 in the first half, Jo Morgan, and she's added another 12 since Nat Avellino's come on. I don't think the two are unrelated.
No. You only have to think back to that Swift Sandpipers game in National League when Avellino entered the court at half-time, and quickly they caught 8 in a row.
Illich looking for Sanders, finds her. Sanders is so quick. Well, that's McMahon rewarding some good work up the court from her teammates. Richardson.
Big split, as is the trademark feature of McMahon, and the shot to finish. That's number 25 for Sherelle McMahon. So she's just edged Cox in number of goals.
Well, the President's 12 got it back to 11 at one stage, but it's back out to 15. Make it 14. Minute to go in the third quarter. Who's going to win this quarter? The lead is as it was at half-time.
There is such pace on this game, and it's been maintained for 3 quarters. You just wonder if it was slowed down a little at times and played a little more simply without the rush, whether they'd be more constructive, particularly for the President's 12, who don't know each other as well.
Australia's ball. Sanders.
Oh, they really squeezed the play nicely then, the President's 12, and Chatfield with enough to get a hand to it.
Richardson, look at the player movement. And the good ball finds Catherine Cox over Chatfield, and the Chatfield takes the rebound. I think honours even.
Perhaps a little too casual on that release. She worked well to get up to the ball, Catherine Cox. And again, Avellino working hard on the wing attack side of the court, but was wanting the back move. Morgan had front position.
Yeah, she wasn't set up to roll that way, was she? And nearly at the end of the third quarter, and it's been fantastic entertainment. In the end, a very even third quarter. And they'll go to the last break with Australia sitting nicely at 40. 1 quarter to go in match 3 of the President's 12 series, and Australia chasing a clean sweep through the series. They look to be on track. President's 12 changes. On comes Megan Anderson at wing attack, replacing Susan Meany. And Demelza Fellows is the new goalkeeper, with Bianca Chatfield giving up 13 penalties. I don't know if that was a concern, Annie.
No, I think she put in some fine performances as well, although it is true to say she is the most costly on court for the 13. But I'm sure it's just to introduce something different for the Australian shooters to think about.
And Fellows takes the first rebound. Bomberto on to Megan Anderson.
President's 12 did waste a lot of ball in attack in that third quarter, despite a good third quarter. So it makes sense to bring on Anderson and see if they can steady it.
Solid start from the President's 12 in the last quarter.
And immediately a more direct approach to the circle, a little steadier between Anderson and Avellino. Australia, up until this final quarter, has had 22 more attempts, and that's something that's very hard to beat.
And Pam Smith, Netball Australia. She's obviously pleased with the standard of netball that we're seeing today and across the series. She's just come back from an important trip to Canada.
Oh, nice cross-court ball from Morgan, but it'll be brought back for the penalty with Illich out.
And Joe Morgan shoots Kath Harvey-Williams a withering look. Just checking the teeth, the lip is still there. Anderson. And President's 12 on a good run here.
Oh, what a ball, Avellino to Morgan. It caught both Australian defenders turning. Switched the play, she let it up, set it up for the right-hand pocket, swung it in just left of post.
It's an eye-catching performance from Nat Avellino. Sure, Jill McIntosh won't have missed what's going on, but she's not in the team for Manchester. Fellows. Gilsonen on to Anderson.
Anderson has contributed in these first few minutes final quarter. Now the ball comes from Von Berto, who thinks, I'll try my hand at this delivery.
Morgan finally finds the handle after a spilled ball.
And here they come.
President's 12 have scored the last 7.
Have to be impressed with the composure, Steve, of Nat Von Berto, who's one of the younger players, 19, I think, and has really held up in this series.
So combined with the last goal of the third quarter and the first 7 of this, President's 12 making a real run at Australia.
Well, the series is designed to test Australia. Now we're testing what they're like under pressure.
Gerard,
Gerard making her case that she jumped at the ball and McMahon had stepped on to play it, almost suggesting that it was set up, but I think it's a fair call.
Anderson back to Gilsonen. Avellino, contact against Harvey-Williams, so they've only got one defender back in the circle, Australia. How quickly can they get it there? Oh, good split from Joe Morgan.
Illich working inside the 3. It would have been a penalty.
Joe Morgan in that third quarter shot 13 from 15, having shot 13 from 17 in the first half. Cox.
And they're bucketing out for Cox, who was so brilliant at the start of the match. Remember, sitting on 92%. She's now at 67.
Oh, cruel stepping call against the Melza Fellows. And players hate that, especially in possession. You're giving possession away. Fellows, yeah, contact on McMahon. She's all over her.
Good shot. Didn't see it.
Didn't see a step there?
No, sorry. Didn't see it. I mean, I saw it, but didn't find it a footwork.
So the President's 12 have halved the margin. Cox. Shoot over Fellows. And kept in.
Offside, centre, free pass.
Richardson offside. Possession to the President's 12. Haven't they lifted? Von Berto.
Oh, they just made it.
Just. All right.
Anderson, at least a little more patient, is really giving time to sort out Avellino's moves.
Morgan just gave herself enough space to drop back into in front of the baseline. And 51-45.
Break, wing attack.
Lofted over the top to Avellino, who holds it up, swings it wide. President's 12 using the width of the court. Better patience in this final quarter.
Sanders back to Harvey-Williams. Good defensive pressure too in the middle third as Avellino just looks and finds the ball in her hands. She'll take it. Anderson.
She's a thief.
Great stretch from Illich. And Harvey Williams backs up to complete the intercept.
Good release from McMahon, who came out to change the angle on the attack. Was well sighted by Rebecca Sanders.
Cox did well to take it. Well, those waiting for a slackening off of the pace are still waiting, because it's really been on from the opening whistle, hasn't it? Frantic, as you say, at times, though.
Absolutely. They've really put something into this, and there's just been no thought for easing off or slowing it down or relenting.
Australia, sideline.
That's off Natalie von Berto. So Australia's ball. Richardson. Oh, Gerard. That was clumsy.
I'm just looking straight across Mrs. Gerard, and we just had eye contact then, and we both sort of thought, oops. Let's come at the next one.
Bomberto is marking Morgan.
Yeah, but it frees up. You see them swing it around to try and pull one off, and there it is. Beautiful work, great vision. Avellino has the crowd in the palm of her hand. Smart work by the President's 12. They're moving the ball to see if there'll be one of the defenders pull off and have a go at the cross court.
Sanders.
Goal defence, contact, pass or shot, middle of the circle.
Against Gerard as McMahon finds the floor. There's no quarter asked in that duel. And 54-46, and halfway through the last quarter. Contact against Megan Anderson, so Australia's ball. They can just look after this possession, breathe a little easier. After this great run from the President's 12, they scored 8 in a row, didn't they? It's just stalled for the moment. Gerard.
Well, they're playing with a lot of pride, the President's 12. Nothing better than taking on the best. A few of them would like to be proving or making a case that they should be in the green and gold.
Morgan. The ball had to be just right. It was, but the shot wasn't, and Illich takes the rebound at a couple of attempts. Harvey Williams.
Oh, Avellino needs to get off that a little earlier, to retreat just a fraction earlier.
Cox now checks McMahon, checks the post, and McMahon says...
It's from out of court, according to Louise McMeekin. Pops it up for the President's. I'm surprised that Gerard and Fellows haven't done a positional switch once the ball is down in the third, so that Fellows is marking Cox more.
Throw in halfway. Halfway, yep.
Illich, the throw-in. 6:20 to go. Australia looking for a 3-0 lead in the series. Cox.
Contact,
dispossessed.
In line.
Illegally. Fellows makes her way back to the circle. Can't stop Cox taking another accurate shot. Her 27th from 41.
Morgan remains the best on court with respect to shooting. 36 from 44 at 82%. Cox 27 from 41. McMahon is sitting at 78%.
Oh, takes a double hop and drops through. McMahon knows she was perhaps a little fortunate there. That's her 29th from 37. Morgan. She won't shoot from there, will she? She will. Oh, with the house down.
Oh, my gosh.
That's worth 2
Jo
points.
Morgan steadies, backs herself, and it was technically perfect. Took only net.
Pretty well defended shot, too. It wasn't as if she wasn't under any pressure out there.
That is one fine shot.
Cox from much closer range. Restores a double-digit lead. 5 to go. Great entertainment here.
The intensity at which this is being played would make you believe it's only 1 or 2 the difference, not 10.
Well, we're used to Jo Morgan grabbing 40 goals in National League matches, but to do it at this level, and she's closing in on 40, extraordinary. McMahon, that's a sweet shot also.
It's a fine shooting performance to close down this match.
She's helped herself to 30. Morgan. Anderson.
That one goes against Morgan, pushing through, and Australia will take the penalty.
And that's Jo Morgan's second penalty of the match. McMahon on to Catherine Cox. Left foot was planted. Oh, McMahon.
Throw in.
Yeah, the right foot just stepped out. She was maybe looking for the contact call if she wasn't going to get the territory. Harvey Williams closes in on it. McMahon this time.
Tries to play it off to free herself from the pressure of Fellows, but it comes undone.
Oh, and that's off Gilson, and so it'll be Australia's ball. They just got a little untidy the last 60 seconds. But as we've said, it's been played at tremendous pace, so they've got to be a little weary.
A lot of pace and a lot of passion in this game.
Please, both coaches. McMahon swings it off to Sanders, but a path along the baseline was blocked.
Well, good work from McMahon. She put such a strong change of direction on it, suckered Gerard in to follow her and just to open up the gap there.
And McMahon, 31 from 39. Joe Morgan stuck on 38. Like to see her get to 40, but they've got to get some possession. Demelza Fellows finds some. Gerard. Anderson. Morgan sets up, just holding at the moment. 2 on her. Oh, got it now.
It's quite pretty to watch Anderson team up with Avellino. Very similar styles of player, quick hands, great vision, and they really are doing a delightful job around the edge of the circle.
And Joe Morgan helping reattach the patch on the back of Village.
Just watch how they play off each other, those two.
Village helps herself to an intercept. Cox. Well, the skills, you've got to admire them as Cox works her way around Gerard.
Fine work, Catherine Cox. The ball put to McMahon was beautiful, and the drive from her was strong.
Richardson, nice touch from Gilson. And Joe Morgan with 39 of the teams, well, make that 40 of their 50. But that's the style that she plays with Nat Avellino. Avellino's another feeder.
Well, she's more structured when she has those players around her. You see her give up some of the leading work to hold position in the circle. It now all works around her. That's the pattern that Avellino and Anderson have now set up for her in this final 15.
Morgan backs herself.
I guess that's how she rewards them. I'll sit back, you do the work. It's pretty to watch. Give me the ball.
So 90 seconds to go. It's a near certainty that the President's 12 will at least win this last quarter, and the second quarter that they've taken. They've drawn 2. That being the third quarter of this match. And second quarter of game 2. So 10 the difference. Avellino.
Avellino's tested out those sore calf muscles, hasn't she, in this match?
She has.
Don't see her pulling off the speed at all.
No, she's not ready to retire, as she says.
See the President's 12 sagging through the middle, but Australia look beyond the press. President's 12 packed the mid-court here, but great vision from Richardson, who looks beyond it. Good position from McMahon.
Stepping call against Australia, and Gilson playing on through Anderson. Bomberto, change of direction, was a nice one. And Joe Morgan, as Illich almost stumbles out of the way, and Morgan with another good shot. A bit of help from the ring. 42 from 50. What a performance. The performance around her has to be good also, and it's certainly been that. Contact against Harvey Williams. So Avellino, will she shoot or look for Morgan?
Oh, she'd like a piece of her own.
And Avellino 4 from 5. Full time on a very entertaining match here. Game 3 of the President's 12 series, won by Australia, but